Have you ever stopped to consider how much control you've surrendered to people who don't deserve even a sliver of your energy? You've been acting like the main character in a tragic drama, always chasing, always seeking validation, always bending over backward just to be noticed. Well, here's the reality check. They've been playing you. You've been serving up your attention on a silver platter. And for what? A breadcrumb of acknowledgement? A fleeting moment of validation? Let's be honest, they've made you a supporting character in their story, while you've forgotten this is your life, your stage. Here's the brutal truth. You're doing it all wrong. You're wasting your power every time you check your phone, hoping for a message, every time you send that extra text, or when you alter your behavior, thinking it will make them see your worth. You're playing right into their hands. They know exactly what they're doing, keeping you hungry for their attention, dangling the bare minimum in front of you like it's a prize. But you're smarter than that, aren't you? You need to be, because this is where everything changes. It's time to reclaim everything you've been pouring into people who don't care. It's not about just pulling back a little. It's time to go ice cold. Become indifferent. Show them the strength of your silence, the power of your absence. Do you really think they deserve another ounce of your energy? Think again. Indifference is the ultimate weapon. And once you master it, you'll realize you've had the power all along. Think of it like this. When you stop caring, when you stop reacting, you throw them into chaos. Their ego is built around your attention, and when that supply is cut off, they crumble. They never expected it, got used to stringing you along, tossing you breadcrumbs, expecting you'd always come back for more. But that ends now. You're not their backup plan. You're not their convenience. When you step into the power of indifference, everything shifts. And trust me, they'll feel it hard. Here's why indifference works. It puts them in a place they never expected: uncertainty. People hate not knowing where they stand, especially with someone they once found predictable. And let's be real, you've been predictable, always available, always ready to fix things, to explain, to make them feel comfortable. But now, you're flipping the script. You're the mystery they can't solve, the silence they can't fill. And that silence? It's louder than anything you could ever say. Most people thrive on control, loving the idea that you're waiting by the phone, hanging on their every word. They get a kick out of walking in and out of your life like it's a revolving door. But what happens when that door locks? When you stop playing the game they've trapped you in. That's when things get interesting. That's when they feel the cold sting of being ignored. Indifference makes you untouchable. It's like wearing armor they can't penetrate. Each time you respond, react, or show you care, you're giving them another chance to manipulate you. But when you stop giving them that power, they lose control. And nothing drives them crazier than realizing they're no longer in the driver's seat. You're not just walking away, you're walking away without looking back. And that's what haunts them. The moment they realize you don't need them is the moment they start needing you. But let's be clear, this isn't about playing games or acting out of spite. This is about reclaiming your power and embracing a mindset of strength and self-respect. Your value isn't tied to how much attention they give you or how much validation you can get from them. Your value comes from within. Once you truly understand that, once you grasp the power of indifference, you'll see people for who they really are. You'll stop chasing, stop explaining, and stop giving away parts of yourself to those who don't deserve it. They'll come running, trust me, they always do when they sense the shift. But by then, you won't care. You'll have learned the most important lesson. Indifference isn't just a strategy, it's a mindset. It's the ultimate power move, putting you back in control of your life, your energy, and your peace. You owe it to yourself to stop being someone's backup plan, someone's convenience. You're more than that. You're the priority, not an option. The moment you internalize this truth is the moment everything changes. So here's what I want you to do. Start today. Start now. Stop giving them what they don't deserve. Let them feel the sting of your absence. Let them wrestle with the silence. And when they come crawling back, you'll know one thing for sure. You're in control now, not them. If you're truly ready to step into the power of indifference and reclaim your worth, drop the affirmation, "I'm taking back my power," in the comments. Because once you embrace this shift, there's no going back to the person who used to beg for scraps of attention. You're no longer waiting in the shadows. You've already won the game by simply choosing yourself. In this video, we'll dive into 7 incredible ways to reclaim your power and make them realize just how valuable and irreplaceable you are. You deserve respect, and it's time they understand that. Stay strong, stay focused, and never forget, you are precious, and you deserve to be treated like it. Reacting to someone else's whims or emotional manipulation, you become indifferent to their attempts to control you. That indifference becomes your strength. Once you've cut the ties that allowed them to play with your emotions, they lose their grip. But let's be real for a moment, it's not easy. Relationships, especially toxic ones, can feel like a tangled web. You may feel attached, as if you can't walk away, even though you know it's destroying you. Maybe you've convinced yourself that staying and playing their game means you're holding onto something important. But the harsh reality? You're only holding onto an illusion of control. They've tricked you into believing you need them, that you're incomplete without their approval. That's the lie they've sold you, and it's time to wake up. Picture this: your life is like a stage, and for far too long, you've let them direct your story. Every move, every emotion has been dictated by their expectations. But now, it's time for you to step into the spotlight as the lead role. They no longer get to decide your lines or actions. The moment you cut the puppet strings, you stop performing for their benefit and start living for yourself. You cease reacting to their cues and begin writing your own script. However, cutting those strings won't be easy. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when you'll feel the urge to return to what's familiar, to let them pull those old strings again. You might wonder, what if I need them? What if I lose them? But in those moments, you need to dig deep and remember why you're doing this. You're not just walking away from a person, you're walking away from a version of yourself that was controlled, manipulated, and undervalued. And that's not who you are anymore. Think of it like a balloon that's been tied down for so long, it's forgotten it can soar. The string has kept it grounded, preventing it from reaching its full potential. But once that string is cut, it doesn't float aimlessly. It rises, catching the wind, free to move wherever it wants. You are that balloon. You've been grounded by someone else's control, but now that you're cutting the string, you're free to rise, explore, and be yourself without their limitations. And here's the kicker: when you cut those strings, you not only free yourself, but you also shift the entire dynamic. The person who once held power over you will start to feel the loss of control. They'll realize they can no longer manipulate or use your emotions against you, and that shift will hit them harder than any argument or confrontation ever could. Your silence, your indifference, your newfound freedom will speak louder than any words. They'll feel the emptiness where they once pulled your strings, and that's when they'll understand what they've lost. But here's the part where you need to stay strong. Cutting the puppet strings is just the first step. It's the most crucial step, but it's not the end. This journey doesn't stop with one move. You can't expect to change the entire dynamic of your life with a single action. This is just the beginning of a transformation, and there's no turning back. You can't move the needle by taking just one step. You have to stick with it, fully commit to reclaiming your power and becoming someone who no longer needs validation from anyone else. If you're feeling the urge to click away and tell yourself that this one step is enough, stop. Don't let those thoughts creep in. You're stronger than that, and you deserve more than a half-hearted attempt at change. This is about transforming your entire life, becoming the person worth chasing, not the one doing the chasing. Drop an affirmation, "I cut the strings," in the comments if you're ready to take on this challenge. Let me know that you're committed to cutting the puppet strings and taking control of your life, because this is only the beginning. Stay with me, and let's walk this path together. You've got this, but remember, we're just getting started. Number 2. Burn bridges to light the way. When people hear about burning bridges, they often think it's something negative, something to avoid. After all, who willingly sets fire to the connections they've built? But here's the thing, those bridges were built to serve them, not you. They've kept you trapped, always available at their convenience. So when I say burn bridges to light the way, I mean reclaim your power and create a path forward where your focus shifts from the people who've manipulated your energy to your own growth. Burning bridges isn't just about walking away, it's a declaration. It says you're no longer willing to be someone's backup plan, their emotional convenience. Once the bridge is burned, they can't just waltz back into your life whenever they feel like it. The bridge is gone, and you've set the terms for your new future. But how do you do this, and why is it so powerful? Burning a bridge is terrifying for most people because it means cutting off that comfort zone, severing ties with people who've been a part of your life, even if they were toxic. You might fear loneliness or worse, regret. But the truth is, those bridges you're afraid to burn are what's keeping you stuck in the same cycle, making you easy prey for people who don't respect or value you. When you burn them, you light the path toward freedom. Marcus Aurelius said, The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. These bridges are the impediments to your growth, your self-worth, and your emotional independence. When you burn them, you create space for action and move toward a stronger version of yourself. Their control over you dissolves in the flames, and you rise from the ashes, unstoppable. Imagine being in a relationship where you're the one doing all the work, calling, texting, making plans, trying to fix things, while the other person barely reciprocates. It's exhausting, like no matter what you do, they're always just out of reach. You convince yourself that if you just try harder, they'll finally see your worth. But let me ask you why? Why should you have to work so hard for someone to see your value? Burning the bridge means letting go of that endless chase. It means deciding that your time, energy, and self-worth are too precious to waste on someone who barely acknowledges them. Yes, it will be difficult. We're conditioned to hold on to hope that things might change, but deep down you know the truth. If they valued you, they would have shown it by now. Burning the bridge removes you from the cycle of disappointment. You stop waiting for them to wake up and start waking yourself up. Now think of it like this. You're on a ship, tethered to the shore by a bridge. The ship can never truly set sail as long as that bridge remains. But once that bridge is burned, the ship is free to embark on its journey. Burning that bridge is setting yourself free, showing them they no longer have the power to anchor you down. You don't burn the bridge out of rage or frustration. You do it out of wisdom, out of self-respect. Calmly, decisively, and with full intention. No need to explain or justify yourself. Your indifference says everything. You burn the bridge because it's time to move forward, and you won't let anyone drag you back into the past. Once you've done that, something incredible happens. You no longer need closure from them or explanations. You free yourself from the need to tie up loose ends because you've already moved on. The bridge is gone, and with it, the need for anything they were never willing to give. Your silence becomes your strength, and your indifference, your power. I know it can feel like burning a bridge leaves you with nothing, but that's an illusion. The truth is, when you let go of what's holding you back, you create space for something far better. You light the way toward relationships that value, respect, and meet you at your level. Drop an affirmation, "I'm burning bridges to light my way," in the comments if you're ready to take control and move forward with unstoppable energy. Stay with me till the end, because this is just the beginning. Indifference is about cleansing your life of the drama, manipulation, and false hopes that have weighed you down. It's uncomfortable at first, just like detoxing your body can make you crave junk food. Similarly, you might miss the emotional highs and lows that came with being caught up with certain people. It's natural to feel pulled back to that familiarity, but it's essential to understand that this detox is vital to reset your emotional balance. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By initiating this emotional detox, you're mastering yourself and regaining your freedom from the toxicity that has held you captive, especially in relationships where you've been underappreciated or taken for granted. This detox can feel brutal, as if you're cutting off a part of yourself by walking away from someone you thought you needed. But in reality, you aren't losing anything of real value. Instead, you're shedding the burden of emotional dependency, and that's what will set you free. Every time you stay strong in your indifference, you purify your emotional state, making room for clarity and self-worth. Imagine this. Your emotional life is like a glass of water that's been tainted by dirt. Every negative interaction, ignored message, and moment of dismissal adds more dirt to that water. The more you cling to those interactions, the dirtier the water becomes. By choosing indifference and stepping away, you allow that water to settle. Over time, the dirt sinks to the bottom, leaving clear, clean water. That's what this emotional detox does. It cleanses your mind, heart, and soul from the mess left behind by others. However, it's not always easy. You'll have moments where you feel tempted to break the silence, reach out, or seek closure. These are the hardest moments, but also the most crucial. It's during these times that the real detox happens. When you resist the urge to engage, you aren't just building strength, you're reinforcing your emotional boundaries. It's okay to feel the pull, but remember why you're doing this. You're not punishing them, you're freeing yourself. The power of this emotional detox is that it resets everything. Once it's complete, they'll realize just how much they relied on you for their emotional highs. They'll feel the withdrawal of your attention like an addict coming off a fix. But you'll be lighter, freer, and more focused on yourself. They'll be stuck dealing with their own emotional chaos while you've moved on, stronger and more centered. Here's the hard truth. This is just the beginning. You can't expect to transform everything with one step. The emotional detox is only phase one of reclaiming your power. Stick with me through this journey because this is where the transformation truly begins. If you're serious about becoming the person they can't stop thinking about, the one worth pursuing, then you need to commit to seeing this through. So don't entertain thoughts of backing out or returning to your old ways. This is your challenge to step fully into your power and become so centered, so indifferent, that others can't help but gravitate back to you. But this only works if you stay with me until the end. Drop this affirmation in the comments to let me know you've accepted this challenge. I detox my emotions to reclaim my power. Let's see who's ready to embark on this journey to the end, because this is just the first step, and there's so much more ahead. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. When you embrace indifference, you completely redefine the playing field. You're no longer following their rules, reacting to their whims, or letting their actions dictate your emotions. Indifference is a power move that shifts the dynamic in unexpected ways. When you stop engaging and start focusing on yourself, the entire relationship landscape changes. They can no longer pull your strings, and the control they once held over you vanishes. Indifference shows them that the game they were playing relied on the assumption that you would always be available. But when you pull back, when you stop caring, they suddenly find themselves standing on unstable ground. They no longer know how to approach you, what to expect from you, or how to win back your favor. You've taken away their power just by stepping back, and that's the most profound shift you can make. As Epictetus said, we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. When you stop judging yourself based on their behavior, you free yourself from their control. This shift isn't just a tactic, it's a complete redefinition of the relationship. You're creating new rules. When you were always available, they believed they could come and go as they pleased. But by embracing indifference, you signal that you're no longer playing the same game. You've moved on to a higher level where they either step up or fall behind. The playing field is no longer level, you have the advantage. This dynamic can be particularly powerful in relationships. Imagine someone who has always kept you at arm's length, never fully committing but always expecting you to be there when they wanted. They've grown used to you chasing them, always being there, always caring more than they do. But when you decide enough is enough and pull back with indifference, the entire script flips. Now they're the ones wondering where you've gone, why you're no longer reacting, and what they need to do to get your attention again. But I know what you're thinking. What if it feels difficult? What if every fiber of your being wants to reach out, respond, or fix things? This is where you need to stay strong because this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You're setting boundaries, establishing your worth, and showing them that your attention is no longer free. Yes, it's hard at first, but that's why this process is so transformative. It teaches you that your peace of mind and emotional strength are worth far more than any momentary satisfaction they might give you. Think of it like walking through a storm. It's chaotic, disorienting, and you can't see where the path leads. But once you come out on the other side, you'll realize that the storm was clearing the way for a new beginning. By redefining the playing field, you're not just taking control, you're reshaping your entire reality. The relationship no longer holds power over you, and you emerge stronger, clearer, and more grounded in your own worth. The real challenge is sticking to it. This isn't a quick fix, it's a complete transformation. You have to commit fully to the process because once you start embracing indifference, you'll see how it rewires the way people treat you. But that only works if you stay the course. Drop the affirmation, "I am taking back my power through indifference," in the comments if you're ready to take control and become the one who sets the rules. Stay with me because we're just getting started, and by the end of this, you'll be untouchable.